Toastmasters was, right, just a test. Testing, yeah. Good job. No, the reason I joined was to get to where I enjoyed speaking. I mean, I can get up here and talk, but I don't enjoy it because when I looked at the video Yaroslav did of my last speech, the Mr. Hopeful speech, I don't look like I'm having a good time. And a lot of it is, well, it's a segue into what Yaroslav was talking about, smiling. I get really like serious and stone-faced, and you know, my speech last time was kind of lighthearted in a way. It did make a point, but so in order for me to get to the point where I enjoy speaking, I think for me I have to really own this podium. I don't mean I have to be behind it all the time, but if I'm over here, I have to feel that I own that thing. That's my space. If I walk around the room, that's my space. So how do I get there? How do I get to where I feel comfortable and this is my space and I enjoy speaking? Well, to answer that question, I asked one of our distinguished Toastmasters, and he told me, oh, you need to stay with the Competent Communicator Manual, give all your speeches. It's like, okay, yeah, 10 speeches, but can I get to where I enjoy speaking before I give 10 speeches? Well, just stay with the program, you'll be fine. So I asked another distinguished Toastmaster and got the same answer. Then it occurred to me, well, if you ask a distinguished Toastmaster how to get better at speaking, they're going to tell you to give speeches. So I went to the wisest man in the world. He was in Nepal on a mountaintop, and it sounds kind of trite, but it's true. And since our transporter's down, John, I don't know how you got here tonight because our transporter's been broken for weeks. I had to fly to Nepal and then take a camel and a donkey to the top of this mountain. So I get up there into the mountain, and there's a little cutout in the mountain, and there's this guy sitting in there, the wisest man in the world. And I go in there and he's fooling with something. I'm like, ooh, maybe he's got an Aptus. Well, he had an iPad. I'm like, you have connectivity up here? He just kind of smiled and put it down. He says, how can I help you? And I said, well, I'm in this Toastmasters Club. I want to get to where I enjoy speaking. I'm okay giving speeches, but I don't really enjoy it. How can I get there? Guess what he said? Go talk to a distinguished Toastmaster. I said, okay, thank you, wise one. But all joking aside, that's for me anyway. That is what I need to do, is get to where I feel that I own this space. This is mine, and hopefully I'll get to the point where I enjoy speaking. But I did want to make another point. That was my first point. I have to own this podium to become a good speaker, or to get to where I enjoy speaking. The other point I wanted to make was, I want to encourage you, particularly the newer speakers, to have a personal goal when you give a speech. Because Toastmasters has a goal. They provide, like my goal is to make a point in this speech. So I'm trying to make a couple of points. But I think you should have a personal goal, like make better eye contact on one speech, or work on your what do you call that? Body. That, yeah, exactly. Don't do ums, or work on your body language. And this came out really for me. I am a piano player, and I've been playing about 8 years, and I'm getting better. I'm very slow progressing. It's one of the things few things I've done this long that I don't really have a lot of aptitude for, but I just love doing it, so I stick with it. I play just about every day in the morning for an hour. And my piano teacher, at a lesson, I have a lesson every 2 weeks, and I would go to a lesson, and she'd say, you're making the exact same mistakes you made 2 weeks ago. So she encouraged me for each lesson to have a goal for that lesson, like maybe just play one measure correctly, or play something up to speed where I had been playing slowly. The problem is when you learn incorrectly, you develop this muscle memory, and you're teaching yourself to play incorrectly, so you have to undo that and then learn it correctly. So now when I practice, I give myself a goal each practice, a personal goal, a little goal, something that I can accomplish in an hour, and it's really helped improve my practice. Because when I practice piano, my mind a lot of times, it's the first thing I do in the morning, and my mind is not real. I'm thinking of work, I'm thinking of a speech I have to give at Toastmasters, and am I going to enjoy it? And like if I go to the gym and work out for an hour, and I do my 30 minutes of cardio. My mind can be anywhere. And as long as I keep my heart rate up, I don't know, Vaughn, maybe you're probably more hardcore in the gym, but my mind can drift anywhere. I just have to keep that heart rate up, but when you're doing something like playing a piano, playing a musical instrument, you really have to be there. Your mind has to be there. And so it's a matter of discipline, and I didn't have that. So, in summary, for me, in order to become a better speaker and get to the point where I'm going to enjoy it, I'm going to have to own this podium. And I'd like to encourage you, when you give a speech, to have a personal goal for your speech. And my personal goal this time was to try to connect with the audience a little better than in past speeches. So,